Edison International, EIX on New York Stock Exchange. It's a very investable utility. I think it's one that I have a personal position in. I have clients in this one. I recommend it to lots of clients. They don't all take it, but I think they should. And there is certainly risk, though. Okay, and normally utilities, there's not that much risk. Like they might not do a moonshot, but they don't typically go down that much. And you get your dividend. They post a good return every year, and that's just kind of what you get. This one's been a little different because there's been forest fires in the area, and rightfully so. Every time there is one, and this is like going on like almost, I don't know if it's 3 years in a row. It might be 3 major forest fires in a row. There's at least 2. And the stock gets hit, but it roars right back, and that's just what it keeps doing. And while it's unfortunate, these forest fires, it does present an opportunity. And as an investor, you got to be opportunistic. And by the way, I don't think this is like investing in some kind of unethical stock. So you hear about ESG investing. This could meet that criteria, but it might not meet your criteria on the risk, because they don't control forest fires. It's not in their power to control whether or not there's a forest fire. So this time around, they were actually very proactive, which I liked, in shutting down households and businesses to their power to get ahead of the game and just not make it worse. And it was at least 100,000 homes or some. It was a big number. Of course, that hurts your revenue. Of course, it comes down. Of course, the stock comes down. It all makes sense. But in the long run, the company's still the same. People are not going to move out of Southern California because of this. In fact, some people are very steadfast, and they want to rebuild and go right back. And that's very noble, and I understand that. And California's a great place to live. So in the long run, utilities are just still necessary. So nothing really has changed in that regard. Hopefully, the agriculture and forestry department of the government will get better at managing these things. This is all about climate change as well. So maybe even Edison will have a say in how to manage this and what the risk is, and who knows exactly how this will play out. But it just presents an opportunity every time. Okay, so the shares are down 0.9% in 3 months, but they were up about 12% last month. So even though the stock has moved, and by the way, I picked it today because it is up 3.5% and the market's down, and I just thought, what's a great opportunity to talk about this company. We're not about the day-to-day fluctuations or anything like that, but on a down day, this one's acting well, and it's been a tough time period for this one. It just looks like a good spot to at least take a little nibble. Know that there is some risk, but also know there's quite a good dividend here too. So let's jump into the model, because we always think that really illuminates it for people. And you see, utilities, they never wow you with their return, right? 5, 6s, occasional 7, but just give me even 4s to 6s. If they're pretty consistent in the 4 to 6 range, that's pretty good. And remember, our way of calculating return on invested capital is very conservative. And we think it's correct, but it's also conservative. Also, you want to look at the dividend yield. So the dividend history. And this is a remarkable chart as well. Click in there, please. Thank you. Okay, so you see in the recent data, the cash flow's been pretty steady. The dividend has just moved up slowly but surely. The top bar is just the dividends on a quarterly basis, whereas the bottom one is an annual basis, and it's versus the cash flow. So the green is the cash flow. It's only a 22% payout ratio, and that's still yielding a 3.4% yield. Is that right? 3.4, yeah. So you kind of got a little bit of a safety net. You're only as good as your ability to pay that dividend, but you can see by that cash flow, they have the big ability to pay it, even if their cash flow comes down from these forest fires. The balance sheet is okay. It's a little bit over levered, I'd say, but a lot of it's got to do with just the fact that the equity price has come down. So higher risk than normal utility, but probably worth it. And one of the reasons we got such an exceptional price is because of the tragedy and the difficulties. But as an investor, you got to take advantage, and that's how I see it.